Hi, this is Dustin Burrell with CIS 240 Windows Server Administration course, which is the second course to this program. We are going to be doing Activity 1.5 out of the Administrating Microsoft Windows Server 2012 R2 MCSA Guide. I'm starting this activity on page 24, Chapter 1. Basically, we're booting from a boot image. And the things that you're going to notice when you do this, when you turn on this virtual machine, which is the WDS, we're going to want to log into the network boot so we can install the standard boot WIM boot image on the Windows Server 2012 R2 installation DVD. I have the ISO file, and I've already had it installed, so I don't really have to worry about that too much. But basically, you want to start your 411 server if it isn't already started. Looks like mine is already started, so that's good. And then start the WDS client, which is this one right here. And I haven't started it yet because if I start it, it's going to be hard to get this done. So basically, as you start the WDS client already has an OS installed, and if the BIOS isn't configured without a network boot first in the boot order, press F12 to activate the boot menu. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And when the network boot has been initiated, you should see the screen showed previously, which is up here in figure 123 in the book. It says network book, and I'll show you what that screen looks like so we can explain everything on there. See there it says press F12 for network service boot. Operating system not found. It's because when I installed it, that's just my slow performance on this computer. No big deal on that. F12 should take you there. There we go. So it got there. It's lagging just a little bit because of my slow performance, but we did continually hit F12 and eventually get there. So it's loading its files. Here, let's put this on the big screen. Let's widen our screen here. So it loaded all the files into it. And after it loads the files, it's going to restart our system. And after the boot WIM is loaded, Windows setup begins. And as the setup is starting, we're going to see a window that pretty much says Windows setup begins. When you see this window, it's going to ask for the local, and keyboard settings. You can accept all the default settings, which would be the best way to go. So click next. And then here's where you're going to have to give the privileges. You're prompted to the domain credentials. You can't necessarily just enter administrator because that's not going to do the domain. What you're going to want to do is administrator at 4 411 dom1.local. That will confirm your domain. Then your password is the same, capital P ASSWORD01. You can hit enter if you want. So the last window, Windows Setup, is where you normally select an OS to install. Because you haven't added an installation image, you see a window indicating that no OS image is available. At this point, you know that your basic WDS configuration works, and that's all we had to make sure was going on here. And just still do a little background on this before I just exit out and have us go on to the next activity. I'd like to venture. We haven't finished installing Windows on this computer. Are you sure you want to cancel? No. Well, yeah, I am going to cancel that because I'm going to fix it later. But I wanted to talk about a little bit of the background on this project just so it's not so confusing, because I just kind of whipped through that. So let's get out of here. Let's go to our 411 server. Let me show you a couple things in the WDS deployment. Let's get logged in here. Because what we just installed, yeah, it installed into the WDS client, no problem. But it's kind of hard to see that just on the network boot from Intel screen that shows the copyright and the MAC address and your downloaded WDNS client. Yeah, that happened, but just to let you know where we got that from, you come in here to your Windows Deployment Services box, and it was started out like this. On the activity before, we installed the boot image, which can't be found until you go to your boot images right here. And that's what we installed into the 411 server before we could install it to the WDS client through the network, through the F12 key to get you to your network boot. I just wanted to explain that a little bit so you're just kind of like wondering where did it come from. But that is the activity. We just wanted to make sure that the WDS client is working over here and that we could get into there. And yeah, it's going to say no operating system was found because I didn't install one. But at this point, you know that your WDS configuration works. In the next activity, you would add an install image for now. Power off your client computer. And if you're continuing to the next activity, leave 411 server 1 running. Otherwise, log off or shut down server 411 server 1. Thank you for joining me for this video. You guys have a wonderful day.